One of my first classes that I'm going to do that is going to be including full body and strength and weights. So weights are optional for today, but joining me on Mondays, I'm going to be adding weights to our strength work. So if you've got some weights, these are, what are these, 8s, 10s, stuff like that. Nothing crazy. And then some mini bands as well. So if you've got that stuff, bring it. That's going to be my live class on Mondays. Today's going to be a little bit of a hybrid. So we're going to do some core strength and some full body work. So if you've got the bands, bring them. And you've got the weights, bring them. Join me. Fridays is core class, Mondays is full body strength. Today's a little bit of both. So let's just start off and get warmed up, and then we'll go through a little bit of full body strength. Again, you don't need the weights, but always great to have them. Then we'll do some core work, stretch, and be done. 30 minutes, that's it for class for today. Bring your arms up to the sky. Get a nice long inhale, reach. Just warm up. Just opening up everything, just kind of checking with our body. Again, this class is for all levels. I'm a PT as well as a strength coach and a yogi. So just listen to your body, modify as needed, right? Just getting into everything. Come down into your squat, lean, open up the chest, upper back. We want some supple joints, nice healthy spine as well as strength. We want it all, right? We want both. And then rolling up, come to the back of your mat. Let's just finish with a nice quick yoga warm up, and then we're gonna get into some weights. Again, a little bit of squats, a little bit of deadlifts, a little bit of upper body, core, done, 30 minutes. Subscribe to the channel for notifications of live class. Again, full body strength and core class, both of those are gonna be live weekly. Today is both. Inhale, reach to the sky. Take a nice long inhale, let's stretch. A little bit of yoga warm up. Exhale, bring it all the way down. Shake it out, release tension. Just using this quick yoga sequence to warm up. I do this a lot in my core class, right? So easy sun salutation yoga just to get the body loosened up. Knees are soft, shake it out, release tension. One more breath here. On your next inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Straighten up the knees, nice stretch, back of the legs. Hold it here for one breath. Then we're gonna come down into a plank. Bring your hands out in front of you, plank. We do have more planks coming up. Hold it here. Pulling in, drawing in your abs, tucking the chin in. Hold it here for one breath. Knees down, slowly lower chaturanga. Elbows close to your sides, uncurl your toes. Push yourself up, little baby back bend. We're gonna go through this sequence 2 times. That's it. Just to get moving, warmed up. Exhale, back down. Uncurl your toes, push yourself back, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet, give your calf and ankles a nice stretch. Let's go through that sequence one more time, and then we're gonna grab our weights for some squats. If you don't have weights, that's okay. Walk your hands back to your feet, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Use this as a way to loosen up, get some mobility in your joints. Inhale, reach to the sky. Last time, you guys. Get warmed up. Exhale. Hang out here one breath. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hinge. This is your hip hinge, deadlift coming up next. Hinge at the hips. Brace with your abs. Hold it here. And then hands come down, plank. Last time through this nice, easy sun salutation. Exhale, lower. You can always modify as needed, always. Listen to your body. Up dog or cobra. Let's get some nice extension. If you want to come all the way up, this feels nice on your spine. Some back extension. Again, healthy spine, needs all the movement, all the cracks and pops in my back, feels good. Exhale, back down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog, that's it. So we're gonna start off with a squat. Now, if you don't have weights, that's okay. That's gonna be your chair pose. If you've got weights, grab them. I will show you some options. We're just gonna go through easy, 3 rounds of 10 for our strength. We might superset with a little bit of extra core work in between. So basic straight progression, 3 sets of 10, nothing fancy. Hold it here, get a nice little calf, hamstring stretch, last breath. Drive that booty up high to the sky. Warm up is done. Walk your hands back to your feet. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time. If you've got weights, grab them. Again, 2 options for your squat. 3 options, actually. If you don't have weights, this is your chair pose. Here. This is also your back squat. So if you don't have weights, I would like you to just maybe turn this into an active chair pose, right? So just getting some mobility. If you've got weights, join me. So I've got my 2 10-pounders here. weights at my sides for my nice back squat. I want you to find the stance that feels comfortable for you. We're doing 3 sets of 10, right? We might add a little bit of superset in between, but nice stance, toes planted, pinky toe, big toe, heels, sitting back into my squat. Now, if I've got the weights at my sides, you've got many options, right? You can also have them in this front rack position here, right? And then I'm gonna give you one more option before we get started. If you've got just one weight or one kettlebell, you can hold that goblet squat, right? Close to my chest here, pulling the shoulders back, again, sinking back into my heels. Whichever version you're doing of this squat, this back-loaded squat, I want you to focus on this form, pulling the shoulder blades down your back, opening up the chest, engage your lats. Toes are planted, eyes looking at the horizon or maybe a little bit below. Let's get ready, grab your weights, whichever you're doing. Let's start with our first set. Simple squat, focus on depth. Right, so I'm gonna sink into my squat. A lot of things to think about with the squat. Again, everyone's squat is gonna look different. May need your feet wider, may need the feet turned out a little bit. Bracing with my abs. Couple more here. Last few. And again, 3 sets of 10, 10, 12. You can kind of decide that for yourself. If you've got really light weights, like I do, you may want to add a couple more, right? So maybe 3 sets of 12, right? If we're going really light, we may need to add more volume, meaning a little bit more reps. Let's do 2 more just like this. And last one, rest. Now, if you've got the weight, I want you to add a little bit of a superset in between these. Let's do a little bit of our Russian twist. So we do a little bit of core in between our squats. So come down onto the mat with me here. Sitting up nice and tall with my weights. You can have the kettlebell as well. Sitting up, I'm not here, I'm here. And then I'm just gonna add my Russian twist. So we're gonna do 3 sets of 10 of our squats. We're gonna superset that with our Russian twist. We're gonna do a deadlift next. And we're gonna superset that with our plank. So adding just a little bit here, a little bit of up and down for this class, kind of circuit style, right? Again, we're not going super heavy. If we're going super heavy, we would be taking longer breaks. We wouldn't be doing quite as much aerobic movements in between. Couple more here. In 4, 3, 2, 1, back up, grab your weights, dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever position, focusing on my form. I'm gonna sink back into my squat, eyes looking forward, pull the shoulder blades down your back, open up the chest, back at it, round 2. We have 3 sets. Again, we have different intentions with class. This class is a little bit more circuit-based. This is not gonna be your heaviest power set. We're not doing 6 reps all out heavy weights. We're gonna be generally using stuff we have at home, which is lighter, right? So we're gonna typically, and again, everyone's different depending on what your goals are, we're gonna a little bit higher reps, a little bit more volume, a little bit more aerobic, right? So we're adding some things in between with the core work, focusing on more of a circuit style. There's value to the circuit, there's value to lifting heavy, there's value in both. Depends on your goals. Generally, maybe a little bit safer with the lighter weights, a little bit easier to focus on our form. We're not adding a ton of speed to this either. Let's do 2 more just like this, and then let's do that Russian twist again. So it's our superset back and forth. We could superset with another lower body move. I'm just adding in a little bit of core just to spice things up. All right, so back to that Russian twist. Then we have our deadlift, our hinge pattern next. So we're getting a little bit of core, a little bit of strength, lower body, and today we're gonna finish with the upper body. We're gonna a little bit of a chest press and a row. So that's the plan for today. Full body strength, approximately 30 minutes, a little bit of core added in. Subscribe to the channel to get notifications. Typically, I'm gonna do that full body class. One day, core, another day. Today, kind of a hybrid, kind of fun. Good to mix and match it up. Generally speaking, I like to have everybody that's working with me, strength, PT, whatever, at least getting in twice a week of some real strength training, real weights, right? At least twice a week. More is okay. Let's do last few here. We've got our last set of our squat. In 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. And if you don't have, again, if you only have some light weights at home, A, you could buy some heavier ones, right? Or B, just adding a little bit more volume will also get you some strength changes, right? You don't need to do just heavy all the time to get positive gains in your strength growth. You need to add more reps, sets, and volume. So it can be done. It absolutely can be done. You just need to focus on getting in enough volume in the week, and especially based on what weights you have. So if you could do 1,000,000 of these, maybe it's time to level up a little bit with your weights. If you've got the mini bands, we'll probably add those in. A little bit of glute work. Last few here, and then we're gonna move on to our hinge, which is our deadlift. Different options for deadlift. I'm gonna do a Romanian deadlift today. You have different options. 2 more here. Last one. Again, sets, 10 to 12 reps approximately, right? You're gonna have to change that based on what you have available. Again, I suggest maybe going a little bit longer in your rep scheme if you have really light weights. I have pretty light weights. So again, 3 by 10 or 3 by 12. You could even go 3 by 15. All right, so next up is our deadlift, our hip hinge. If you don't have weights, you can just do this, right? You can just do this with no weights. We'll also give you the option of a single leg deadlift. Challenging, again, different focus. We're not doing heavy weights. We're focusing a lot more on our stability, on our single leg strength, our balance, foot, ankle. Single leg deadlift, very challenging. Last few here. 3, 2, and 1. Come into standing. So we're gonna do a deadlift and a plank, right? That's our superset. And if you've got the weights, I like to have the weights at my sides like this, touching each other. Kettlebell, same thing. My hinge pattern, I'm gonna lead with my hips here, right? So as I sink my hips back, my knees bend, and then my back leans. Glutes, this is where I'm gonna stop mid-shin. Weights are at my shins, not here, they're here. Shoulders pulled back, engaged, my lats, eyes looking at the horizon, or lower chin is tucked in. Squeeze. Arms straight. Just a lever for those weights to go down and then back up. Now, if you don't have weights, you can do this with no weights. Practice your hinge. Romanian deadlift. Again, Romanian deadlift, nice soft knee bend as I lean. If you want to do this and you don't have weights, focus on your single leg deadlift. A lot of work. You do not need weights to make these challenging. Keeping the hips squared, abs braced, soft bend in the knee, activating that right glute, flat back, not rounded. So many things to think about. I love single leg deadlifts, so if you don't have weights, do those. If you've got weights, join me. Again, kettlebell, same thing. So let's do the 3 sets of 10. Sink, weights, falling down to that midfoot. I have a video on deadlift form, tips, many different variations of deadlift. This is our Romanian deadlift. So Romanian, a little bit more emphasis on glutes and hamstrings, a little bit less on the back. You're still working that back. Have your lats engaged. That means squeeze those shoulder blades down your back. Crown of the head to the ceiling. So I'm not here, right? I'm always perfecting my deadlift. Always things to work on. Mid-shin. That's where I'm going to finish the move. Here, I'm not going all the way down. This is my Romanian finishing here. Let's do a few more. Take a break. And then we'll do our plank. We're just going to do an RKC style plank, a forearm plank. 2 more, just like this. Booty, sink, push the hips back, and then back up. All right, plank. Let's do a 30-second plank. RKC style is forearm plank, slight curve in the back, starting in 3, 2, and 1. 30-second hold. This is intentionally slight curve in the back. Drive the elbows down to your toes to create more ab tension. Tuck your tailbone under. 30 seconds, that's it. Make it work. Fingers are spread wide, palms down. 10 seconds. Tuck the chin. Lots of common cues here. Make the most out of your plank. Don't just hang out. In 4. In 3. Use those abs. 2. 1. Come back up. Deadlift, whatever version you're doing. If you're doing single leg, do the other leg. We've got 3 rounds, so you might have to split the difference. Again, locked in here. Feet rooted into the ground. I'm leaning. Hips shoot back. I'm pushing away from the ground. Arms are straight. Weights slide down the shin. So if I have my barbell, just sliding down the shin, booty goes back, bend in the knees, back up. Again, great glute hamstring strengthener as well as lower back. Form is key. Always working on our deadlift. Lots of things to think about. Do not fear the deadlift. One of the best exercises to strengthen your posterior chain. Don't fear the deadlift. Hinge. We need this in life. Hinging, leaning, picking things up. Strong back. This is a great strengthener for my lower back patients. I give this hinge to a lot of my PT patients, as well as my cyclists, my runners, my athletes, my older clients, my college, high school kids, athletes, etc. Squeeze. Emphasis. Exhale. Strong. Squeeze. Hip extension. One more. Squeeze. Right? Use that booty. That's your power. That's your strength. All right. Let's do our forearm plank in 3, in 2, in 1. Hold it. RKC style plank. Again, I'm not here. I'm here. Driving tension. This should feel much harder than your typical plank. I want palms down. I want you to imagine you're driving your elbows down to your toes. Create extra ab tension. 30 seconds. Then we've got our last deadlift. And then we're going to get into our upper body, right? I do want to grab some mini bands. If you've got those, great. If not, it's okay. I'll show you some glute work that doesn't require them. In 3, 2, and 1. Last time. So I'd like to do some glute bridge work with the mini bands. If you don't have them, I'm going to give you some glute bridges anyways. So that's okay. So we're just supersetting, little fun superset stuff today. Just to keep it spicy, add a little bit more metabolic work. Again, our circuit-based training, which is this class, right? All of my classes, I don't have heavy weights. That's okay. I'm going to do my heavy weights on a different day, right? But for today, I'm going to get a little bit of strength in, building some foundation strength, working on my core as well, getting the foundations. And I'm adding a little bit of metabolic work, meaning the supersetting, I'm adding some speed. I'm treating it as a circuit style workout, getting my heart rate up, maybe a little bit more metabolic, fat burning. There's value in that as well as heavy lifting. Both have value. We don't want always doing these HIIT style, circuit style workouts, but we always also want to have some variety and not just lifting heavy all the time and not getting in any metabolic work. Also depends on your sport. If I've got my athletes, my runners, cyclists, I like to give them a little bit of circuit work as well. Work on a little bit of their pop and power. And heart rate, right? Getting the heart rate up a little bit more as we move back and forth. Let's finish up here. Stay focused on the form. Toes are planted. Don't let the toes come up. Keep them grounded. One more. Done with that. We've got upper body next. Let's finish with our last plank. In 3, get ready. In 2, and then we're going to be on the mat for chest press. So if you don't have chest press, guess what? You have to do push-ups. That's the alternative. I don't really have another great alternative. Sorry. And if you don't have the bent over row, I don't have a great alternative for that either. You're going to have to do more planks and or push-ups. So grab what you got. Bands will also work for that back row. So we're going to chest press, a row, finishing up class, stretching, done. All right, on your back, chest press. Again, if you don't have weights, then you can do some push-ups. And I would say AMRAP, as many reps as possible. Up to you, bent knee push-up, right? Or regular style push-up, whatever you want. So if you've got only one weight, I'm gonna suggest elbows at about 45 degrees, and then I'm just gonna do this press, right, over my sternum here, right? If you've got the 2 weights, I'm gonna treat this as just my basic press. I like to have my elbows at about 45-degree angle, right? Lots of different variations, wrists are straight. Again, seeing whatever weights you have, right? So this is kind of all I have. Not super challenging. We're just gonna do our 3 sets here. And then we're gonna superset with some glute work. So starting with your chest press, exhale as I come up. I like to have a slight arch in my back just to give me a little bit more stability in my shoulders, pulling those shoulder blades down my back. So slight arch, up to you. If you've got a bench, you can absolutely do these on the bench. You don't need it. And again, a little bit more typically, I'm gonna do a little bit more reps. Again, my upper body not as strong, but if you have a strong upper body, sometimes that depends on your sport, or if you lift, then you may wanna go with less, but I'm gonna do about 10 or 12. Nice arc. Last few here. Done. Now, if you've got the weights or mini bands, you can add them in for your bridge. So I've got my bands here for my glute bridge. If you don't have the bands, that's okay. You're just doing a bridge. So if you've got the bands, put them, squeeze. So I'm just supersetting with a glute bridge. Just adding some, little mix and match. Squeeze as you lift. If you've got the weights, you can also have weights on the hips for this glute-based bridge. Squeeze straight up, hinge. This should feel just like your deadlift, this hinge pattern. This is not a roll up, this is a hinge. And up, and up. All right, done with that. Back to our chest. We've got to finish with our rows. After this, we've got one more move. Slight arch. Again, lots of different options. You don't have to be at this 45-degree angle with the elbows. Some people get a little bit more control when they're a little bit closer to 90. Some people need to do here. Right? You got a lot of options with your chest press. Just make sure that you're feeling stable, controlled. Again, the dumbbells, they move around a lot on you, so practice that control, stability. Last few here. One more. Back down, my glute bridge, mini bands. Pushing out into the band, creating extra tension in the side butt. And up, and up, and up. Two more. Last set. Let's do it. Press. So we've got our row. Could do a bent over row. Again, if you don't have weights, you're going to be a little bit limited. I'll show you one option. You can do a little bit of a plank with an arm tap. Again, push-ups is a little bit more chest. You can also use bands. So if you have some bands, you could do a row or weights. So I will show you some options. Finishing up here. Two more. All right, so if you've got the weights, we're gonna do a bent over row. If not, if you've got these long bands and you've got enough pull, you could do here, pulling the band back, right? If you don't have anything, you could do a plank with an arm tap, which would be here, not quite a row. Those are your options. If you've got weights, join me for that bent over row. Pretty basic, straightforward, leaning. I like to have this slight lean. I'm gonna think about pulling like that lawnmower back. I'm gonna add a little bit of extra rotation. We're gonna do both sides, 3 sets. In between, we're gonna do a little bit of a halo, which is core, also shoulders. Couple more here. Halo, here. Elbows close to my sides, kettlebells or weights. A little bit of core, a little bit of shoulders. Don't need really heavy weights for those halos. If you've got really heavy weights, you can also do around the world. Got a lot of options here. Let's go to that other side for our bent over row. Again, I like this lean position, flat back, and then I'm adding a little bit of a twist. Twist. Here. Here. Finish with our last little stretch after this, and then we are done. Think about that lawnmower as I pull. 2 more. Back to that halo. Make sure you get both directions, elbows close to my sides. A little bit of core work, a little bit of shoulder work, both directions. Last few here. Bent over row. Make sure we get both sides. Pull. I like a little bit of that twist at the end. Back. Back. One more. Other side. Support stable. Pull the shoulders back. Squeeze. Initiate the movement from your shoulder blade. This is not just a bicep. All right? Last few. 2. 1. Last round. Quick stretch, finishing off class after this, and then we are done. Last set of bent over rows. All right, last one. Two more. Switch. Last one. Done with that. Let's finish with our stretch, just like we started off class with, stepping nice and wide. Inhale, reach. Exhale it out. Inhale again. Exhale it out. Coming deep into that hip opener and twist. Upper back. Back to center. Back to center one more time. Other way. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Roll all the way up. One more time. Inhale, reach to the sky. We are done with class. Exhale, forward fold. Roll it back up. Roll the shoulders out. Shake it all out. We are done. Thank you guys so much for coming. Join me next time for live class. We will have live class Friday. Core work. Join me. See you guys.